Hey folks, Troubletcat here, recording for the Zombie Arcade. Today playing some Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or rather, I played some Counter-Strike Global Offensive last night, and I am now commentating that game. It's a little bit different from my other CSGO matches that I've put up, where I have been, just had my, my chatter with my friends going as I played, whereas this time, I'll actually be commentating the game. You can see here, we are playing the pistol round on Aztec. Aztec had a lot of changes made to it in the last patch. There were also a lot of balance changes. I'm going to talk about that a little bit during the video, but mostly I'm probably just going to talk about what you're seeing going on. So you can see I'm starting off on terrorist side. We've managed to do a pretty quick take here of bomb site B and get the bomb down, and we're just finishing off the murder. My friend Competitve there getting horribly stabbed. He was actually really upset about that, as you might imagine. So we did end up winning the pistol round pretty handily, actually, and I believe, yeah. So in the second round, we decided to only buy SMGs. I'm not sure how good of a decision this, like on Aztec, most of the map is long range fighting. So these SMGs are not perhaps as useful as they could be, but against enemies who were expecting to not really have armor or anything other than pistols, we're still going to have a pretty big advantage. So we decided here to just try and take this bridge. We figured, our enemies weren't going to have any guns that could really do anything to us at long range on that bridge, so we just ran straight across and began the murder. I got taken down by a pistol there. I believe we're now watching my friend Competitve play. One of the problems with these demo files is you can't see who you're watching play when you're watching in spectator mode. So most of this will be gameplay where I'm playing, but some of it will be my teammates, and unfortunately we're not necessarily always going to know who's playing. So you see there we lost that round where we bought those SMGs, which is not good. Some of our enemies had guns, though, which we weren't expecting. Looks like the demo file is finally starting to glitch out a little bit less, which is good. I believe on this round we did end up buying SMGs again, because... maybe not. I think there was a bit of discussion going on my team here, a bit of confusion as to what we were doing. Yeah, so we did end up buying SMGs again, because we kind of figured some of our enemies had bought on what should have been their save round, so they probably weren't going to have rifles yet. We didn't want to lose this round, so I, of course, shot my good friend Duck completely in the back of the head, killing him to help us win. And, no, we didn't want to lose this round, so we figured we'd try and even the odds by, having any kind of weapons when we didn't really expect our enemies to have too many rifles. They did have a few, but not that many. So, big changes to this map and a few others in the patch today. Well, there's a bit of a lull here. You'll see some of the changes here. For example, this area of the bridge on CT side, instead of this big contraption of boxes and stack of thing, there used to be this little box. CTs could peek their head over and shoot terrorists trying to come across the bridge. It was a very strong position, made attacking the bridge as terrorists pretty much a suicidal proposition once the enemy had rifles. That's not going to be so bad anymore. They also, as you can see, added a lot more cover to this bomb site A, and they got rid of this stupid fucking bush that used to be here that you could crouch in, and players couldn't really see you. You'd just be crouching in this little bush, and very hard to see. That's gone now, and also a lot more cover added. I quite like the changes they made to Aztec. This map used to be just the worst. Like, absolutely... Well, I mean, not the worst map in the game. Not even close, actually. But it was a very bad map for competitive play, because you were very restricted in where you could go and what you could do. Pretty much anywhere you went as terrorists, you were going to get funneled into this little choke point and shot to pieces. I still don't think this is actually a great map, but I think these improvements helped a lot. You can see there is now this big block in the middle here that didn't used to be there. You didn't used to have any kind of real hard cover running under here as terrorists, which made it complete suicide. It's still very bad attacking under there. Very bad indeed. They've also added in, as you can see, this connector in between this side of the big pit and the other side, there didn't used to be this connector here between bomb sites A and B. And I've been thinking about the strategic ramifications of that one a lot. It probably favors the CTs more than the terrorists because it allows them to rotate much more quickly around the center of the map. But I feel like it also gives the terrorists a few more tactical options in terms of what they can do. It just allows more movement in that middle area of the map for everyone. And I think it's a pretty good addition. I don't know, it still remains to be seen how this is going to pan out. We didn't really have any good sort of strats figured out for these new map changes yet. So we were just kind of derping around when we were on terrorist side. I think you can probably tell. Like that round, you saw us try to go under. I flubbed a smoke grenade that should have allowed us to get up the staircase. CT defusing, but Incredible is able to take him out in time. Unfortunately, the bomb is then defused after that CT was shot in the head and killed. That's fine. Those things can happen sometimes. I think what probably happened is he did manage to defuse the bomb just in time, but the sound did not play until after he was killed. I'm assuming. Although normally there wouldn't be quite that much of a delay. I'm sure it's fine! You can see me choosing to buy an SG553 this round. This is not something you would normally see done in high-level competitive play. Thankfully, we are not at a very high level. The AK is generally considered a better weapon. It fires a lot faster, does a similar amount of damage, is cheaper, and it's just generally a more useful weapon in a lot of situations. But since a recent patch where they changed this SG553 so that it is only 3,000 bucks instead of, I believe it used to be 3,300, it's only 3,000 now, and they also made it a one-shot kill on a headshot, much like the AK. I've actually found the SG553 to be incredibly useful on these maps with a bit more long-range fighting because the sort of added visibility you get from it, and I find the slightly better sort of second and third shot accuracy from this gun, perhaps due to the somewhat lower fire rate, actually make this really useful at long range. I can get headshots a bit more quickly at a distance than I could with an AK when I'm zoomed in. And you could probably say that's just because I'm bad and I probably need to learn to aim better with the AK, and you would be correct. There's a reason this doesn't get used at a high-level competitive play where everyone has real good aim, but for players like me who are sort of intermediate-level players, this gun can actually be really, really useful. And since achieving victory was the name of the game here, I did choose to buy it on this round, and that ended up working out alright for me. We were able to do a good A-take there and get the bomb down. The score you'll see is about to be 3-2 in favor of the terrorists, my team. You would not usually see terrorists getting an advantage on this map previously. This map is extremely, extremely, extremely balanced towards the counter-terrorist team winning most of the rounds. It is still like that. The changes in the patch did not really fix that, I don't think. Although it didn't hurt. There's some more changes I would love to see done to this map to try and make this a bit more competitive, because I think it's a very pretty map, but unfortunately it's not a whole lot of fun to play, and it's still not enormously balanced. Which is just quite sad. Quite sad indeed. So it was at this point in the game that my team started playing, I think, not quite as well. We sort of got in this situation, which is actually very common for terrorists on this map. You'll run up to this small area here, where you can sort of go across the bridge, or you can go into B, as we are now doing. And as terrorists, you'll often just sort of run up there and stop and dick around between those two spots, trying to get a pick for a while, trying to pick off a CT somewhere so you know where is going to be a better place to move in. That's actually a really dangerous proposition. You sort of end up stagnating, and it allows CTs to rotate around behind you in ways you maybe don't expect, and take you out really brutally. You want to avoid, I think, just kind of stopping in that area, dicking around for too long, but it is something we kept doing. We were able to win that round after we pushed into B, but Well, I don't want to spoil the match, but I can tell you that things took a turn for the worse after this point. Our enemy is giving up prematurely, but they didn't know they still had a reasonably good chance of victory. You see here me trying to push under and being punished for that by having my head completely blown apart by the M4A1S. I was quite upset. Hiflod able to get that pick across the bridge there, although that was, you know, not great. We lost a bunch of guys early on this round. I think you can kind of tell at this point. This round's a bit of a wash. As terrorists, you know, there's only 3 of us left, 1 on low HP, 2 of us left, and we're just kind of stuck back near our spawn. This is why you don't want to get stuck in this kind of position. I should not have run off by myself under the bridge, though. That was quite a bad choice. So we do get taken down there really, really brutally. We all died terrible deaths. I did not feel good. But I was able to afford an AWP, and by that, this round. And the AWP is an amazing gun on this map. It used to be the case, especially before they added all these new cover objects that are now on the map, that you would kind of just buy like 1,000 ops and then fucking op battle with people and hope you opt better than they opt. But there's a bit more cover now. It's not so much the case. I really do like this change at the bridge here. Whether or not you can go across the bridge as terrorists used to be pretty much, if there is a CT with a good long-range gun on the CT side of the bridge, you cannot go across, because you'll only be able to see his head, and he's going to be able to frag like thousands of you as you try to run across the bridge. But now that the CTs have to show their body in the same way the terrorists do in order to fight here, this becomes a lot more balanced. It's a lot more about if you can get the kill as like a terrorist operator, your team can then run across, whereas previously your chance of getting that kill from the terrorist side of the bridge was so low that it was just kind of silly. You can see me tweaking out really bad with the op, not managing to hit that player, but thankfully my buddy Hiflod was able to take him down. Crediho died somewhere, not quite sure where. And we're now just trying to hold out on this bomb site here. Now we know the CTs are going to be coming from the direction of the bridge, which is of course why I fell back and looked in completely the wrong direction, allowing myself to be shot in the head and my teammate killed. That may seem like a bad play at first glance, but I think you guys will find that I just had a deeper level of strategy that was not yet able to be comprehended. Now, the thing about that is we knew where 2 of the CTs were. I was worried one of them might rotate around behind us. I decided to fall back a little bit and try and cover our backside, but unfortunately I did it at the wrong time and was not looking when those CTs came through, and I did get blown apart. See, I've only got $2,200 here. I should be saving, but I instead elected to buy an MP7. I did this because my teammates were buying. For those of you who aren't familiar with CSGO, which it occurs to me is probably most of my viewer base, because, you know, this is not... It's quite a popular game, but it's not the most popular game out there. Hopefully you're watching this even if you don't know what the fuck CSGO is, and you are hoping to learn something of what even this game is, and if you should play it or not. Some of this stuff is probably going to be rather confusing. The stuff to do with the economy, you're not going to know anything about. The way the game, just general feel of the game, the way the game works. I debated talking about that a lot during this video, but ultimately decided not to. I think it's, there's a lot to cover. This is a very complicated game, and I think it needs to be its own topic if I want to do a bit of an introduction to what is actually going on in these CSGO matches, what the deal is with the way the economy works in this game, the metagame in that sense, you know, all that kind of good stuff about, and other stuff about, you know, how the weapons work, the weapons handling. There's a lot about this game that is extremely inaccessible. So if you're watching this video and you don't know what the fuck is going on, thank you for choosing to watch anyway. I am sorry you are so confused. So one of my teammates buying me an AK-47 here because I did not have enough money to buy a rifle. But I could, of course, buy armor. And my grenades. Those grenades so important. They introduced this bug in the arms deal update where your grenades in your inventory on the bottom right there do this weird overlapping thing and you can't really see what you've got for grenades, and I get hyper confused when switching between them as a result when it's glitching out. I sure hope they fix that soon. So you can see here, we're trying to go under here, and what I'm thinking is with this new block, you'd be able to smoke off and then run through up to the staircase without dying horribly. Unfortunately, as you can see, if you throw that smoke past the staircase where it needs to be, like I did, it's not high enough to cover you from the players up at bomb site B. So, you know, fortunately for me, nobody was looking when I ran through that time, but that is not going to work. And that underneath area is an area of the map that I think is still very bad. This map does need more work. And I think that underpass area is one place where a lot of work needs to be done. Running through there as terrorists is pretty much suicide. Because as you run through, you can be shot in your legs and feet and body, and you can't really see the CTs up at the bomb site who are shooting you. And that's a really, really bad spot to be in. I don't think I need to go into too much detail about that it's not good if you are getting shot in the legs by people who you cannot see. Your life will not be a good one. What I think they should do is just raise up the sort of bridge that crosses over that underpass so that the terrorists have a bit better visibility. But they have not done that, and it is still suicide to go underneath there. I was actually thinking about this map a lot today, and I came up with, I think, what are going to be some more effective attacking strategies than what we were able to employ in this match. We didn't really make good use of our smokes or anything like that in order to actually attack rapidly, and things ended up being quite painful for us here. I actually had a reasonably enjoyable match, but my friend Hithoday got really, really upset, which is an understandable reaction to CSGO. You don't know true anger and fury until you have played CSGO. Getting completely demolished there by King 12-year-old. And my teammates will now be trapped in this little room on the terrace side of the bridge and slowly being shot to pieces and brutally killed, which is not a good situation. You can see here my money is extremely low, $1,450. I believe I do not buy anything at all on this round. A lot of times when you don't have enough money to buy your Kevlar helmet, your rifle, and your grenades, you'll buy a P250, which is a replacement pistol that you can use instead of your starting pistol, and is a lot more effective against opponents with armor and helmets. However, with only $1,450 in the bank, I decided to save all my money and go out here with a Glock against enemies armed with sniper rifles and assault rifles. No body armor! We have another word for that, which is suicide. You don't tend to do very well with your pistol and no armor against men with superior arms and equipment. And particularly not, you know, we see here we're just kind of hanging out in this area. This was a bad idea, and I did decide to kill myself. That's something that is often your best strategy. You can see King 12-year-old there was extremely impressed with my tactical gameplay, my strategical knowledge, to understand that in that situation, a 1v5 where I have only a Glock and no armor and my enemies are fully equipped, my best option is to end the round as quickly as possible so as not to prolong my suffering. So I was able to kill myself there. My buddy Fidelman, unfortunately choosing to end his life on the next round. You can see here I had $3,300 and $50 more dollars, $3,350 in the bank, and I decided again to do a full save because That's not quite enough money, really. You want to have at least 3,700 on terrorist side, at least, before you really think about buying. But I was able to pick up an AK-47 from my good friend Hithwade, who got his head completely shot to pieces, and we will see if I am able to make anything happen. It's all me. It's all down to me. 1v3 pro mod, the bomb planted. Can I stick it out? Can I take out the bad dudes and win? You can see me trying to figure out where the fuck that Molotov landed. It did land behind me, not doing anything. And I will now have to shoot it out while completely blind, while reloading with an AK against 3 CTs. And unfortunately, I'm not able to succeed in my extremely improbable mission. It is unfortunate that I wasn't able to take out at least one of them. But, you know, they threw a lot of grenades. I kind of tweaked out pretty bad. And I did die a rotten, rotten death. But the good thing is, on this round, I had enough money to buy whatever I pleased, and I thought, I did pretty well with that SG-553 on that round earlier. I'm going to buy another SG-553. My team will have full money. And we'll be moving out of our spawn here, as you would tend to do at the start of a round. So you can see we're just kind of digging around in this middle area. We decided to go into B this round, though, quite quickly. And I believe the reason for that was I was kind of going, man, we gotta just stop standing around here. You can see I decided to run completely into the open, get blinded, and shot by an AWP. That's a unique strategy. We'll now be down to my teammates. An extremely bullshit headshot from a duck there using his Bison at long range. The player who he killed must have been incredibly mad. But he is now dead, so at least he knows peace. Fidelman able to get some good shots off with an AK, but he does go down from a player on his left who is, again, killed through a door by a Bison, which is, again, incredible bullshit. This gun does about 10 damage. What a rotten way to die, Duck. Guy crouching in the smoke. The Bison does almost no damage against players with armor. It's a very, very bad choice if your opponents have armor. If you need to buy an SMG against armored opponents, I would say your best choices are the P90, the UMP, or my personal favorite, the MP7. But do not choose a Bison against players with armor. You will not damage them. Shooting that guy through the door was an extremely unlikely thing for a Duck to be able to accomplish. So it looks like this time we will be choosing to go towards the bridge, try and get over to A, but we were smoked in there, and you don't want to run through that smoke onto the bridge and get shot in the face by an op that you can't even see. That's normally a bad way to die. I choose to go down there. You did see there, I shot that man directly in the face and did 29 damage. I believe my bullet deflected off his helmet and somehow went into his hand. That's completely fine. Once again, some excellent skill-based play using the Bison here on a Duck. You know, that kind of strategy where you just spray wildly and tweak out at your enemy and pray that they die is an excellent maneuver to perform in CSGO, but unfortunately he is killed, and the bomb will now be being defused by the counter-terrorists. And that'll wrap up this half of the match, 10-5. Now, this may seem quite bad for my team, that we are currently only have half the number of rounds won as the counter-terrorists. However, on Aztec, winning 5 rounds as terrorists is actually quite good. This map is very, very strongly in favor of the CTs. I'd consider any more than 3 wins on the terrorist team to actually be pretty good. So the position we're in here, I mean, obviously we're quite far behind on the scoreboard. We need to win 11 rounds to win. Our enemies only need to win 6. But we are now on the team that is more favored for the map, and we will see if we're able to make something happen. Running out here into this bomb site B with my USP and my buddy a Duck with his dualies and Fidelman with the USP as well, and we're able to get some kills here. I choose to run completely into the open away from any cover whatsoever because I'm an excellent player, and accordingly I am shot to absolute bits by about 1,000 Glocks. Krilleho does get stabbed in the back there, which is quite bad. Getting knifed is not good in this game. You get money every time you kill a player in Counter-Strike Go, which you probably already knew, but In CSGO, the amount of money you get depends on what weapon you used for the kill, and you get the most money for getting a kill with the knife. You actually get $1,500 for a kill with a knife, versus $300 for a kill with most weapons in the game. $1,500 for a single kill is a lot of money. It sort of guarantees one of your opponents is going to have plenty of cash in the next round. And you don't want that to happen, really. You want your opponents to not have much money. As you can see, our enemies here are saying, the last guy left at spawn, he ran back, he's AFK, and I believe Hithwade responded quite well, which is, well, you'll see in a moment. I think Hithwade responded to that. Maybe not. Yeah, not retarded in real life. Often, you wouldn't really see that at a high level of competitive play, but in these sort of public competitive matches, you'll often see players doing dishonorable things, like lying to you about where their teammates are, trying to convince you to go stupid places. We did manage to win that that round, on time. The terrorists were not able to plant the bomb before the timer ran out. However, we did all die, which is not great, but you'll see here we're not exactly money hurt. I had 4,400. And I believe I will be buying an SMG on this round, yes. I could have afforded to buy an M4 there and have a rifle, again, for this map. But, once again, assuming that our enemies are not going to have many weapons on this second round here when they lost the first round, and going with these SMGs, which will still give us quite a strong advantage. I am choosing the MP7 on this map. A lot of times I choose the Bison, because the Bison, very strong against unarmored players. But on this map, where it's a bit more longer range, I've chosen the MP7 because it's a much more accurate SMG. You can see here, I look directly at those terrorists under the bridge and don't see them. I did not notice that I did that when I was playing. Holy crap. Apparently I am somewhat blind, but I do still manage to get the last kill. And being blind is a normal side effect of playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I should really buy a rifle right now, because our enemies did get a bunch of kills in that first round, including a knife kill, and they will have enough money to buy now. But because I am not thinking straight, because I'm quite drunk from playing CSGO, I hadn't had any alcohol, just the experience of playing CSGO was slowly corroding my brain at this point. I chose to stick with this MP7 for one more round. See how this ends up working out for me. I don't actually remember.
Grenade out.
Choosing, no. Well, I was going to say choosing a long-range area, but most places on this map, you're at pretty long distance. What I should probably do is try and get down close to those double doors there, where I'll actually be at close range with this MP7 and able to make something happen. Instead, I go and decide to shoot it out with an AK-47 in a long-range area. Not a good plan, so I do fall back. You can see here I'm clearly a hyper-pro at the game, because I do have a StatTrak MP7 skills, which is a somewhat uncommon weapon camo, and as everyone knows, ever since the Arms Deal update, the only really important thing in this game is having rare weapon camos. This is not that rare, but I think it's the rarest camo you actually see in this game, so I'm clearly the best player here. Moving up here, only one terrorist left, only one of our guys has gone down, although he was killed by a knife, and we will be going in now to finish off this terrorist hiding behind the box. Unfortunately, he is able to kill me horribly, but Fidelman then does bullshit him through the box in the head, killing him horrifically. Plenty of money here, and I believe this was the round where I finally decided to buy a really pro skill-based gun, the Auto Sniper. I have become the deepest level of recon there is, and bought a DAC, as they are called. A very, very good tactical choice on this map, but this gun is generally considered kind of a noob weapon. You just kind of spray bullets everywhere and get thousands of kills. This is a two-shot kill, extremely accurate, 20-bullet magazine, very fast rate of fire if you feather the trigger, and you will see that I actually get hit a disturbing number of times there, which is not good, that I'm only on 1 HP, but I am still able to kill him, kill his other teammate, and I believe I get the 3-piece here. Can I do it? Can I outskill this player? So much outskilled! Accidentally getting that last hit through the fucking plank in front of me. But the important thing is he will be dead. So, as I mentioned before, this position used to be a bit stronger on CT's side. Because there was a little box where just your head would be poking over and you could shoot. I do now have to... What have I done? I do now have to expose my body to shoot at them, and the terrorists there would have actually had a reasonable chance of taking me down if any of them had aimed well and hit me in the head. I would have been killed really brutally, or if they had had an AWP, I would not have had a good chance there. The AWP, of course, a one-shot kill, not a two-shot kill like this gun, so somebody had strafed out with an AWP and killed me. They would have been able to run across that bridge into A very easily, in fact. But because I do have this DAC, and my enemies are apparently not that proficient at the game, I was able to mow down 3 people. And I will be playing the same position again. This is just a very good spot to play with this auto-sniper because the enemies are funneled into this one doorway. You can see there's 2 kind of places they can peek out. But they are still very much, you know, funneled in there. They do flank me this round, so the terrorists were on to my auto-sniping ways and do try and come around behind. However, I am able to shoot a man in the leg so hard that he flies up into the sky, slams against the wall, and falls down completely dead. And also, presumably, dead inside. Being killed by the DAC makes people feel rather bad. Last player, on the terrorist side, will be killing me brutally with a P90, an unfortunate way to die. What my teammates want to do now is make sure that that terrorist is not able to recover my auto-sniper, which he wasn't. And you can see Fidel Man here saving my auto-sniper for me. The most expensive, actually not the most expensive gun in the game, but one of the most expensive guns in the game is the auto-sniper, $5,000, compared to the M4, which costs $3,100. Quite a lot of money spent to get this auto-sniper. But my teammate was able to save it for me. And I'm able to keep saving my money. You can see here we've now managed to equalize the score. Now, that guy does have an AWP. He should be able to kill me quite easily. All he has to do, strafe out, aim, hit me anywhere in my body, and I will be instantly fragged. However, he does pussy out. He didn't want to fight my auto-sniping styles. The thing about it is that if I get a hit on him first, his aim will be thrown off, and I will probably end up killing him. So it pretty much comes down to who can get the first hit. In that case, I was ultimately shot in the head by an AWP, took about 432 damage, killed so hard that I died 4 times at once, and then even a little bit more. Once again, standard thing to happen to people's minds when playing Counter-Strike.
Laying down smoke.
So we're now watching, I'm not sure who we're watching play here. I believe we're watching Hithwade play, from looking at the top board there. He's got the M4A1S, of course, added recently in the Arms Deal update. Not a bad gun, but you'll notice he only has 20 rounds loaded, 28 spare. Very low ammo count in this gun. Fortunately, it does not matter, as my teammates are able to kill absolutely everyone, and we'll be swapping that gun out for an AWP. Once again, my auto-sniper is saved by a duck here. My good buddy a duck, able to save that gun. And I believe I let him keep it and bought my own auto-sniper. No, I only chose to buy an M4. I only had if I'd bought an auto-sniper, I would have only had $1,600 left. I was buying this M4, $3,600. Which is much nicer. Gonna make sure I have plenty of money for every other round in this game. You don't want to run out of money. It's quite bad. Much like in real life, completely running out of money is bad. So you can see I'm not playing this bridge position anymore. The M4, particularly at long range, has a serious disadvantage against the AK. Oh, that wasn't even my auto-sniper. That was, Duck bought his own auto-sniper, I guess. But I will now be taking up his fallen weapon and claiming it as my own in order to... I thought the guy was behind the pillar there. He actually wasn't behind the pillar. You can sort of see he was a little bit more off to the right behind those boxes. However, I am able to shoot him with a tiny crack and end his life. Good thing I picked up this auto-sniper, or that would have been a much harder engagement for me with an M4. You can see I saw red there for a split second, and then the next round begins. So, at this point in the game, it is very unlikely that the terrorists will be able to make a comeback. The CTs have a strong advantage on this map. You can see our enemies didn't actually manage to win a single round on terrorists yet. Same score as it was at halftime for them. And we have so much money at this point that we should be able to buy every other round in this game, whereas our enemies on the terrorist side are not getting that many frags, are not winning many rounds, and will be seriously hurt for money. You can see here me absolutely outskilling those three players. One of them I did shoot in the head through his teammate. I believe in Call of Duty you call that a collateral. So I did absolutely skill those players the hardest ever with the auto sniper. You can sort of see that I am just an absolutely excellent player with this completely skill-based weapon. It's just pretty brilliant. You'll notice I'm buying the 5.7 here to replace my USB. That's because if you have a sniper rifle, there's a bit of a higher chance you'll need to use your pistol than if you only have a rifle. And the 5.7 is, well, the default pistols suck against armored players. And the 5.7, $500, is a very, very good handgun. It's actually a lot better than the Desert Eagle in CSGO. So I will be choosing that. Walking out on this bridge here, kind of exposing myself. I do love exposing myself, and I will now just be falling back to cover this bomb. From a player who attempted to run in with a P90, but was not able to get on my level, and was, as a result, killed. Don't even need to buy anything this round. Still got all my supplies from last round, including a Dux Scar 20 here, the auto sniper. Wondering what the fuck it is that I'm holding, but am still able to use this thing quite effectively, or have been thus far. I believe I did actually finish this round with the most kills on my team, largely due to just how much skill I exhibit while using this auto sniper. You can see here me firing very accurately, killing just absolutely everyone when they had a completely fair chance to do the same to me.
Throwing flashbang. Fire in the hole.
A not good Trat saying, "Can you guys hurry up and win? He is tired of dying. Tired of war." An attitude I can certainly empathize with.
Smoke. Roger. We have to lighten them up. Roger that.
As you can hear, my team will be lighting them up and smoking at this juncture. See here me having a bit of a seizure. The reason I'm doing this is just so that I'm not standing there completely exposed if an enemy pops out. On the multiplayer servers in CSGO for competitive, you have actually a little bit of a peeking advantage. If you step out around the corner, you will see your enemies before they can see you on their screen, which does give you a bit of an advantage. So jittering out from behind a corner is actually pretty good online. On LAN, in real competitive ladder things, you wouldn't really do that. You just kind of stand there, because you'd have a bigger advantage from the fact that you were still and they were moving. But the official Valve servers are not well configured and are kind of garbage, and you have this, like, just this little bit of advantage from peeking around the corner, which is why I'm having this seizure here. The other reason, of course, to be having a seizure is the fact that I am playing CSGO, and particularly using an auto sniper. So the enemies on the terrorist side did attempt a B-take here, but were absolutely shot to pieces by my teammates guarding the bomb site. You can sort of see I'm able to hold down this bridge completely by myself, which allows 4 of my teammates to be at that other bomb site, which means that any terrorists trying to come up from below or through those double doors are going to be being shot at by 4 frickin' people at the same time. Not a good fate. Only 1 terrorist left. My friends Incrediho and Fidelman still alive. We are currently watching Incrediho play. They do have the bomb there, and we'll be guarding that. Incrediho choosing to buy the AUG over the M4. Again, not a choice you would generally see at high levels of play, but I think an okay one when you're just sort of at a an intermediate level where you're playing these public competitive games fairly seriously, but they are just pub matches. So if Fidelman can win this, we will win the entire match. Or will the terrorists claim their first victory of the half? Can Fidelman shot heads with his M4, or will he be bullshitted upon through the box really horrifically? He will actually be shot there while trying to retreat with only a few seconds left. Our enemy there employing an interesting strategy. Fidelman saw the time left on the clock was less than 10 seconds and assumed that our enemy must have been rotating to the other bomb site in order to plant the bomb before time ran out and avoid a loss. However, the enemy player was not doing that. He was just camping, waiting to see if Fidelman was going to poke out from behind the box. An extremely risky strategy for the terrorist player. I would even say kind of stupid, but it did in this case, in that case, pay off. Very understandable Fidelman going down to that, because you would not expect the terrorist player to choose to do something that is so likely to result in a straight-up loss. See here, me just stepping out on a bridge, shooting a couple guys. It's almost over now. One terrorist left, 4 CTs. Not a good chance of that terrorist succeeding. Opping player is the last remaining player on the terrorist side. I believe he's actually down below the bridge, but yeah, my teammate's in the other room, so that means this opping player is below somewhere. There he is, I do see him, and shoot him horribly in the feet, breaking his life apart. So that's the end of that match, guys. Thanks for watching the video. If you did enjoy this CSGO commentary, let me know, and I'm happy to do more of them, even perhaps of actual high-level competitive matches. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Troubletcat out.